everyone, welcome back to the channel where we decode web development concept in the simplest way possible. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most powerful features of Next.js, which we called dynamic rendering. Every ever wondered how some website deliver lightning fast pages while still showing fresh user specific data? Well, that's the magic of dynamic rendering. And in this video, I will show you exactly how it works, why it is important, and how you can implement it in your Next.js project using features like server-side rendering and client-side rendering. By the end of this video, you will understand when to use which rendering method and how to boost both performance and SEO with dynamic content. So if you are building a scalable web app with Next.js, you don't want to miss it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and let's jump right into it. So let's see what dynamic rendering is in Next.js. So here, as you can see, that dynamic rendering is a forward rendering strategy where routes are rendered uniquely for each browser when they make a request. It is useful when you need to show personal data or information that only available at request time and not ahead of time during pre-rendering. Things like cookies or URL search parameters are some of the example of it. News website, personalized shopping page, and social media feed are some examples where dynamic rendering is beneficial for users in Next.js. Now, let's understand how we can implement with the help of some functions in it. So, how to dynamically render this? In Next.js, automatically switches to dynamic rendering for an entire route when it detects what we call a dynamic function or a dynamic API. In this, we have a list of dynamic functions through which we can implement our dynamic rendering in our application. So, let's see this. In Next.js, the dynamic functions are cookies, header, connections, draft mode, search params prop, and after. So using any of these automatically off your entire route into dynamic rendering at your request time. So let's do a coding example so that you can easily understand how the dynamic render works in Next.js. So let's do a small example with the help of cookies. We can use the dynamic function cookie in our example. So let's move on to the Visual Studio Code. So here you can see that we are reach out to our Visual Studio Code, and in this we can create a dynamic rendering for about us page. So what we have to do, we have to use a dynamic function which will I just show you on the on my slide before. So let's use a cookie method, cookie function for that. So for this we can create, we can take a variable like cookie store. I can take a cookie store and we can use await, and we can use cookies to implement. We can use the cookies. We can implement with the help of Next header to it. So we usually import cookie on your application. So we can use await or that. So there are await this. It is a type of function. So it is a function we already use the await for that, and we can also need to make a function async because this is a dynamic API. We should make a page render. After that, we can create a theme. We can create a variable with the name theme, and in this we can store that we can store the value to it. Cookie store dot get. You can pass with the name theme. We can give theme to it. After that, we can console log to theme, console dot log, return to it to console log dot to theme, and after that we can give about server component download. So this is how we can doing an example of implementing dynamic rendering in Next.js. So before going to this, we have to delete our .next.js folder, which is a pre-built. So we just delete this. We just delete this particular folder, and we can run a command with the name npm run build. So let's do that. Npm run build. It takes some time to build, and it will generate a .next folder in this application. So you have to wait for it. So here you can see your .next folder has been generated, and we have to wait for this so that we can easily create the build for it. It will take some time. It is creating an optimized production build tool for you. So here you can see your build has been created successfully for dynamic rendering. So here you can see that our build is almost completed. And so here you can see under the route there is a list of routing which we are using in this application, but it is not found about dashboard. So if you closely view that beside about, we can see an F tag. So what is F here? So if you go below, the F legend denotes the dynamic rendering, which is the server rendered on demand. So if you go, so it means that this page would be generated on demand from the server side. Now if you go to the next in the build and you go to the server and you can click on app, and here you can see that you can find HTML pages like not found.html, dashboard.html, index.html, but you are not able to find the about.html because they are dynamic rendered on demand from the server side. So server rendered on demand. So when you request that particular, so it will be loaded on your site through the server demand, through on demand. So let's run this particular example. npm run dev. So let's and then move on to the browser to feed. So let me start the server. So now I also need to open the app 12 so that we can see the network also tab. When we request localhost 3000 about page and click on and press enter over here, so you can see that about page all over also there. And when you click on network tab, so here you can see the about page, and in response here you can see two types of things. First in the response you can see all the HTML5 tags all there, like meta link script over there. And if you see the preview, here review is the preview page. But if you reload this page again, so you can find the updated page again and about the page and the whole the tag. But if you again go to the Visual Studio Code, so here you can see the next inside server, click on app. Again you are not able to find the about.html page because we are just dynamically generating HTML page related to about on demand. So when we are demanding, it is just created by the server side, and we can able to see that particular page. So this is how. So when we click on the theme, so because basically the theme you didn't get the value, here you can see. So when we reload that particular page, so I just reload this. So I just remove that. So here you can see the about server component or undefined, because actually my cookie has not been fed because I removed that particular value. So you are not able to find the value. So although you will see the theme over there, it is undefined because they are not getting any value. And about server component, that it is coming from the server on demand. So this is how the dynamic rendering works in Next.js. I hope you really understand how the dynamic rendering works in Next.js. So let's understand some dynamic rendering summary. So dynamic rendering summary. So dynamic rendering is the strategy where the HTML is generated at the requested time, as I show you in the example just before this. So Next.js automatically enables it when it encounters dynamic functions like cookies, headers, connections, draft mode, after or first prompt prop. Dynamic rendering is great for personalized content like social media feeds. You don't have to stress about choosing between static and dynamic rendering. Next.js automatically selects the optimal rendering strategy for each route based on the feature and the API you are using. If you want to force a route to the dynamically rendered, you can use the export constant dynamic equal to force dynamic config at the top of your page so that it can force the route to be a dynamically rendered. So, alright, that was everything you need to know about dynamic rendering in Next.js. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. We got more awesome Next.js content coming your way. Also, if you found any doubt and want me to cover a specific use case, just drop a comment below. I'll read every one of them. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Until then, happy coding. Thank you.